So now for the main event, I'm really excited to introduce this next person. If you're not following her on Instagram, you need to go follow her right now. Her Instagram is amazing, what she's doing is amazing. But we have Chioma Brown. She's a fashion and lifestyle blogger. Chioma is the creator of a blog behind the fashion and lifestyle brand Chioma Brown, formerly C Evolution of Style. She has always loved all things style and fashion related and has a mission for showcasing colorful, bold, unique fashion. I had to step up my game today when I was picking out my outfit for her, but also she represents herself in media and her blog. Since the beginning of her blog, she's had countless opportunities to network with some amazing creatives, both locally and nationally. She's had the privilege to partner with campaigns and household brands like Toyota, Roku, Target, Dove, HP, Shake Shack. One of my favorites I recently followed was the city of Cincinnati. That was awesome. So there's so many. Please go check her out. With that, I'm really excited to invite Chioma Brown to the stage. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and hi. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Jamie and the Creative Mornings Lexington team for having me in Studio 46. I'm so thrilled to be here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about glowing up. The Urban Dictionary defines a glow up as a mental, physical, and emotional transformation. Glow-ups can be both natural and planned. They can be gradual and permanent, as well as fast and temporary. So now that we have a working definition from the Urban Dictionary, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am and how I got to this place. As Jamie stated, I'm Chioma Brown. I'm an entrepreneur and content creator, and I'm happily married to my college sweetheart, Jonah Brown, who's in the audience. Hi, baby. I am a first-generation Nigerian American, oldest of 3 girls, born to Nigerian parents. They were married and moved to the United States before I was born, for my dad to further his education and for my parents to pursue their American dream. As the first daughter of 3 to 2 highly educated immigrant parents who value family, God, education, and hard work, these same values were instilled in me. Excellence was instilled in me. High achievement was instilled in me. Drive was instilled in me. Leadership was instilled in me, and success was instilled in me. I grew up with a strong sense of pride in culture and what most would consider a privileged or middle-class upbringing. I attended a Catholic private school until high school, attended sports and science camps, forgive me, y'all, it's been a minute, just hang in there with me, and had private tennis lessons where I played competitively until I left for college. With all of that, and my parents new to this country and trying to identify their own identity, we overcame. I would later go on to attend UK, where I would meet my husband and earn my undergraduate degree in biology, and later a master's in elementary education, followed by 6 years of service in higher education in various capacities at my alma mater, UK. As with every story, there are a myriad of great and not so great moments that occur in our lives that shape who we become. You might have heard the origins of my story and thought, oh, I can see why she's so happy and bubbly and colorful and she wants to bring vibrancy to the world, while encouraging women, specifically Black women, to lead beautiful lives. But please don't get it twisted. I know what it's like to be afraid, but still keep walking. I know what it's like to experience trauma and shamelessly seek healing. I know what it's like to experience the heartbreak and rejection of friends that you thought were family and yet still desire and pursue rich, transparent adult friendships. I know what it's like to work under the hands of toxic supervisors in anti-Black work environments and still speak up for others and myself and persevere. I know what it's like to be a caregiver while recognizing that I need to be cared for too. I know what it's like to be honest and not love my own honesty. So with all of that, I hope you can start to feel more about who I am and why I feel so led to create the content I do and what my mission is. Our society spares no expense to remind Black people of our trauma, our pain, and our suffering. So I've been intentional in choosing to use my platform to highlight bright colors through fashion and lifestyle, I chose to share my crazy large plant collection, my mean sneaker game, my deep love of music. I choose to share self-care tips, humor, therapy resources, and beautiful art and imagery. I do this because these things bring me joy, and my tribe has found me both locally and on the internet because we share the same joy. I stand firmly in the belief that the world needs to see more Black women living carefree and happy. As my bio states, I started my blog in 2011 on Tumblr. It's like Tumblr's still a thing, I think, with my iPhone. What began as Chocolate's Box, rebranded to C's Evolution of Style, to finally being named after me. It began as a way for me to build a working wardrobe where I wouldn't need to go out and buy a new outfit for every occasion and event. That last-minute, scattered, hurried shopping usually ended up in me grabbing low-quality pieces that didn't work with my closet. My second reason for starting my blog was to combat the lack of representation of women who looked like me and who dressed stylishly in the media. From the TV to magazines, before the boom of social media, I did not see my style or personality reflected back to me. And that's where it all began. My blogging community and audience soon became a safe and creative outlet for me when I was working in a toxic environment that allowed no room for creativity. I began to find new ways to express myself through fashion, through colors and patterns, thrifting, restyling, almost like an experiment as I defined my personal style. Like most of us, 2020 changed me forever. For years before that, I had chased some sort of ideal of success that was not necessarily wrong, but not right for me. I realized that I was quickly moving beyond a life where I went to work every day to perform and be judged by how much I could produce or how hard I can contort myself into an almost unrecognizable version. I was done settling and pretending that my dreams needed to wait until later. These dreams that keep me awake at night are more important than any yes ma'ams, any people pleasing than I can ever do. That I couldn't start becoming the person I wanted to be until later did not sit right with me. Life is too short, and I decided that later was now. It was time to glow up. You may ask, how? How did I do it? But please believe it please, I'm not an expert. I'm not a master. I'm simply in discovery. And as I see the results, I know that I'm onto something. So here are 3 actionable tips to glowing up. The first tip is to have the audacity to dream. Find the things that make you feel alive, that big dream that scares you but you can't stop thinking about. Once I allowed myself to believe in my dreams, I got to a place where I realized that the days of settling were behind me. I could no longer solely exist as the yes to other people's dreams or wishes. Settling and becoming a yes woman no longer aligned with the woman I was becoming. I then made a plan. With my husband's help, I wrote down my vision and I made it plain. From larger goals to smaller, digestible, and more actionable goals. Once I began to see my plan come to fruition on paper, I knew it was time to get to work. I knew my dreams would require consistency. I realized I needed to get out of my head and get these dreams out of my notebook. Yeah, I have a notebook for everything. Get these dreams out of my notebook and out into this world. Because God had not placed these dreams inside of me to keep them to myself. I had to get organized and laser focused on my dreams and goals so that I could realistically produce content for my brand. Consistency shows that you have faith and confidence in yourself. That you believe if you keep showing up for yourself, you keep learning and doing the work, you will eventually get better at it, and your work will yield results. James Clear said, I accumulated small but consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. I became laser focused on execution. There are so many distractions, especially right now, and I can find myself pulled in different directions when I'm unsure of myself or I start playing the comparison game. Nobody wins in the comparison game. The more focused I became, the less time I had to worry about what anyone else was doing. The second step is self-care, self-love. I know that's a buzzword. We hear it all the time, and that's because it's important and it's a necessity. I had to create a daily self-care routine. As cliche as that sounds, I had to figure out what avenues worked for me that I could pursue to help me best take care of myself. For me, I realized I really like sleep. I enjoy naps. I enjoy sleeping. Tricia Hersey, activist and founder of the Nap Ministry, claims that rest is a form of resistance, which I believe it is. In a society where we're tied to the amounts of production and the amount of work we do, we can sometimes forget to rest, and so I've been prioritizing rest. When I am well rested, I'm a much sweeter person, and I'm much more creative. Ideas actually stick in my head. I began prioritizing the things that help me take better care of myself. Some examples are therapy, sleep, getting my nails done, watering my plants, prayer as a believer, adventures with my husband, shopping, though I'm sure my husband wishes that wasn't on the list, massages, pleasure reading, journaling, and mindfulness, and did I mention therapy? While all of these options provide some sort of varied level of self-care, I really want to take a few moments to hone in on how therapy has helped me glow up mentally and spiritually. But in particularly this last year, my therapist has become so important to me. I told her she stuck with me, and when I say that, there's no going back. So it's obvious that I'm a champion for therapy. With the help of my therapist, I've begun to gather the tools to heal and grow and unpack trauma. As creatives, our minds can go into overdrive with so many things. We begin to feel overwhelmed, anxious, crippled with ideas. Have you ever had so many ideas that you actually felt crippled and you just couldn't activate, you couldn't move? Therapy has helped me with that. Therapy has helped me unpack that. And so therapy has been absolutely paramount in my glow up. I also cannot gloss over how much joy my plants bring me. Being a plant mama, I discovered my love for plants in 2015 when my mom gave us, my sister and I, a propagated Dieffenbachia plant stem. 6 years later, I never turned back. Plant therapy is real. We have 30 plants altogether in our home. When I'm watering or tending to my plants, in that moment, I'm able to focus on tending to my plants. I can tune out the noise of the world. I can turn away some of my troubles. Every time a new leaf unfurls on one of my plants, it brings me so much joy. I have to take a picture. I have to tell Jonah, there's a new leaf. I have to tell people. And now, no friend can leave my house without a plant. You come into the house, you come over, you're leaving with something. You're getting a propagated leaf, you're getting a plant. I don't care if you don't like plants, here's the plant. So I know that they are super trendy now, but I grew up around plants because my mom has an incredible green thumb. Plants were always in our home and in our office. And this became another personal way for me to connect with my mom. My plants bring me dual enjoyment and healing as I water, prune, repot, and watch them thrive. My love for plants have also opened a lot of doors I never imagined. I've joined so many houseplant groups and found even more of my tribe on the internet and in our local community. I have also started receiving requests for plant care tips and plant interior styling, which is simply another opportunity to help bring beauty into people's homes and lives. The moral of the story is that as you find things that you love and ways to take care of yourself, your life will start to change. My third tip is to be your own main character. Show up for yourself before everyone else. I wake up before my husband and I journal and I pray and I pour into myself so that I can start my day with a full cup. On days when I don't do that, I can absolutely tell the difference. And I'll tell you all, my mind was blown when my therapist told me I needed to place myself at the top of my to-do list every day. Every day. With that advice, it didn't make sense to me because typically our self-care, taking care of ourselves, are special occasions or someone treats you or you have to convince yourself. But she said every day. And I began to really intentionally prioritize my needs. Self-awareness has also helped me become my own main character, finding out who I am and what I need, knowing that this will always change, but once you become aware of who you are and what you need, it's a lot easier to ask for it and go get it. As I glow up, I have to fight the urge to give authority and power to other people's opinions. Everyone will not understand your dreams, and that's because your dreams weren't given to them. While you want their support, don't fall into the trap of over-explaining or defending your decisions. They're only operating from the lens of their own lived experiences. So you have to get comfortable with celebrating yourself. So now that we've gone over all 3 steps on how to glow up, first, having the audacity to dream. Second, self-care and self-love. And third, becoming the main character in your world. I want you all to do one more thing with me and repeat an affirmation that Chrisette Michelle shared a few weeks ago. So I'll start, and you repeat after me. I am what's on the inside of me. I am my dreams. I am not my circumstance. Again, I thank you all so much for joining me this morning, and cheers to your glow up. Thank you.